Hello, Jane. In honor of your retirement, I thought we would take a tour through Ledford Hall on the Meredith College campus because there are many people here who want to send you their best wishes on your retirement. Our first tour is going to be a tour through Ledford Hall from the past. So join me, please, as we begin this tour. So Dr. Jared Kratzer is hanging outside in the Meredith Gardens, getting ready to teach his Social Studies Methods course and his Foundations of Education. Let's catch up with him.
Jane, Ann and I want to congratulate you on your retirement from Meredith College. One of my fondest memories of Meredith College is getting to know and work with such great teachers, prominent among them, of course, being you. I am so thankful for having had that opportunity. Speaking of memories, this plate is a fond memory for us. Anne received this plate in 1998 from two young artists named Paulina and Susanna. For the last 22 years, this plate has reminded both Anne and I of the many rewards of teaching, prominent among them being the great teacher that you are. Again, congratulations on your retirement, and also congratulations for being such a great mom.
I think we'll walk through another Meredith College garden because I hear that Bonnie Torgeson has her Social Studies Methods class meeting outside. Let's see if we can find Mrs. Torgeson.
Congratulations, Jane. I want to thank you for all the teaching of math you did with students at Meredith. When I observed the interns in the classroom, I was very impressed with their math lessons, and I loved their hands-on activities. I always knew they had been influenced by your teaching. You created great teachers and many excited young students in their class. Thank you for our long friendship. I met you many years ago at a Wake County math workshop and was immediately excited about your approach to math. I especially want to thank you for your encouragement as I tackled teaching at Meredith. It was such an honor to be on the same staff as you. I called Jean Joyner to tell her of your retirement. She also sends her congratulations. She and George are in isolation in the mountains, and she wanted me to thank you for your leadership in the math community and your influence in math education. She thanks you for all your pre-service and in-service teaching. It made such a difference in the classroom. She also stated your teaching in math will benefit children for many years to come. We both wish you well in your retirement.
Could this be Dr. Beth Weir? I think she's preparing to teach her Literacy Methods course.
My name is Beth Weir, and I taught with Jane at Meredith for as long as I was a faculty in the education department. I cannot recall exactly when I met Jane. I do remember she came on board not long after I did, and I joined in 1988. Gwen Clay was then head of department, and I remember that before Jane started teaching, we went away on a departmental retreat for a day or two, and Jane and I shared a room. I cannot recall where we went, what we discussed, or what we decided at that meeting, but I do remember we laughed as a group until every part of our bodies ached. We got to the no more, no more, no more stage. It was a most joyous time. I was drawn to the way Jane talked about mathematics in children and how the two are best put together. We were squarely on the same philosophical wavelength, and when we had offices next to each other, we began to plot. Since we taught the same students, we joined our scheduled class times on Tuesday and Thursday mornings. We would each teach for an hour and a half and then switch groups. That arrangement gave us the luxury of configuring our experiences as appropriate, extended field trips and such. Now, we did start early in the morning, and it was always pleasant to have company on dark winter days, not too much past dawn in an otherwise empty building. We would each be rubbing the sleep out of our eyes as we got ready for the class. From my perspective, this arrangement worked very well. It enabled me to get closer to the students and their worries than I would have been able to do otherwise, since Jane and I chatted a whole lot about them. But it wasn't all work. I played the Mad Duchess in the infamous Meredith production of Alice in Wonderland, and I can still remember Jane with sparkles in her pretty hair, skipping down the aisles in a frothy outfit and throwing out glitter. She was a fairy. I am glad she didn't give up her day job to dance, but the willingness of folks to expose themselves was all part of the Alice experience, and she was in the spirit of things, big time. And because it is okay to reveal secrets about retirees, I should also mention that Jane makes a powerful cocktail called a pomtini. I've had my share. At the end of 2005, my spouse and I moved to Seattle, Washington, and I retired unexpectedly. Giving up the Meredith life was not easy. For the equivalent of the spring semester afterwards, I used to wake up 3 hours behind her, the time difference, on Tuesday and Thursday and think, I know what Jane has been doing this morning. When I was feeling a little bit disconnected, as I did at the beginning, I was often a little envious. I was always grateful to Jane when we were packing up and getting our belongings out of Dodge and off to Seattle. I had a collection of pot plants I treasured that could not go on the transport. These were akin to pets, and Jane took many of them, and they flourished under her TLC. If you like plants, you will realize she rendered me a great service. It feels like I'm at the point where I need to pass on my piece of advice about retirement, having walked that path ahead of you. Basically, it's simple. Once you get used to it, there is no going back. And if you haven't had a pomtini in a while, I'd recommend you dust off the recipe and toast your career. You have done a lot of good things for a lot of teachers and their charges, and I'm sure glad to have you among my friends. Good luck, Jane.
I think I heard that Mrs. Willoughby is in this room getting ready to teach children's literature.
Jane, I'm so happy for you on your retirement. I know you're going to enjoy some time with your family. You're going to enjoy some times of lower stress. And I hope we're going to enjoy more coffee time together. I loved working with you. I loved teaching with you. You're a wonderful professor, and many hundreds and maybe thousands of children in North Carolina are benefiting from your instructing the teachers who now serve them. Thank you for that and for touching the future in that way. From way back when you were so sweet to help my children have a better understanding of South America, to a few weeks ago when we gathered for some social time. I have loved being with you, my curly-haired sister, and I look forward to many happy times together after you retire. Love you, Jane.
I don't want to disturb Dr. Ellen Graydon as she is teaching our students how to teach English language learners. But she told me I had to stop by because she has something very important to say.
Good morning, Jane. Well, congratulations are certainly in order, and it's sad that COVID has made your retirement party a virtual one. But we celebrate a job well done, your tremendous contribution to the profession, and your absolute dedication to the many students you touched over the years. Your legacy. It's one of the serendipities of my life that you and I have several overlapping years at Meredith, and especially the lasting friendships that we forged together while we were there. Also important to me is the work that you and I did together on making math comprehensible for second language learners. We worked up quite a good presentation, didn't we? And when we had such positive response at both the local and the state level, we decided to try for our national conferences, TESOL and NCTM. As we were researching the dates of those conferences that particular year, we found out that they were scheduled for the exact same days, the math teachers in Nashville and the ESL teachers in Seattle. We looked at each other, gave each other the high five, and said together, "We're going to see Beth." Remember that? And do you also remember that just before our scheduled conference time, you got a phone call from Tom telling you that you had water leaking all the way from your attic down to the first floor? Really? And then when we actually got into our conference room, there were so many people crowded in that after we got started and during your part of the presentation, the fire marshals came in and told us we would have to move to a larger room. You looked up and said, "We can't do that," and you just kept right on going, while several of the would-be participants had to be exited from the room. I was so grateful. And because of my own love for travel, I was thrilled that you had the opportunity to do the work that you did do in Nicaragua first, and then later and more extensively in Guatemala. And in true Jane fashion, you made sure that others got to have the experience with you. I'm sure you left your mark there. I know you left it on students who accompanied you because I've talked with Eliza Cates. It was an experience of a lifetime for her, and you made it happen. Jane, as you retire, you can feel really, really good about all that you mean and have meant in so many people's lives. Well done, my forever friend.
Do you hear somebody laughing loudly in this classroom? That's Dr. Tony Parker. She has the middle school and high school student teachers in this classroom. And she made me promise to stop by to deliver her message to you.
Hi, Jane. It's Tony. I'm wearing this mask for a reason. I can never remember my retirement date. Try as I must, I can't remember it, whether it was 2 years or 3 years. So I figure I need to give you a good timeline as to when you're retired. It will always be 2020, the year of COVID. And you will remember it because I was wearing a mask. And now I'm going to remove it. I don't know whether I'm going to get through this without crying, because I notice I cry at everything that's important to me, and this is important to me, to talk to you about this next phase in your life, going into retirement. I remember being in an interview, the interview with you, when Gwen Clay interviewed you for the position at Meredith. Gwen had told the department that we needed someone who focused on elementary mathematics. And because everybody else who focused in elementary was focused on reading. And she thought it was really important that we have someone who understood the importance of elementary math and the teaching of elementary math. So we interviewed, I think we interviewed 2 to 3 people. But it dawned on me when we were interviewing how rare you were. You were the only person we interviewed who actually had a math ed degree and focused on elementary mathematics. And you were definitely the best qualified for what Gwen Clay had in mind, and that was to make us understand that elementary mathematics was as important to the curriculum as reading. You were so powerful in that interview and so passionate about what it meant to help elementary teachers understand that elementary math was important. During the years of you being at Meredith, you were so committed to elementary mathematics and to helping our students become better elementary mathematics teachers. In fact, I contend that you are the queen of elementary mathematics at Meredith College, that you created a place for that, an important place. You were always fighting for it to be considered as important as the number of courses that we needed to have and the quality of instruction that needed to happen in elementary mathematics. You're the Jane Gleason Elementary Mathematics Guru at Meredith College. And I want to thank you. Someone else may not, but I want to thank you because you took us from one little, if I'm not mistaken, 3-hour course, if it was that, to a committed number of hours in elementary math to help our students to become better elementary mathematics teachers. Thank you, Jane. And thank you for never letting up, because you never did. You always held your ground, that you understood and you helped us understand that elementary mathematics was so important and was just as important as all the other content areas that our students brought to the table. You've helped me a lot personally. You've been there through the deaths of all of my relatives. And I remember I was going home every other weekend to tend to my mother and leaving from campus, and you would take me to the airport. You are such a caring person and a lovely person. And I want to tell you now that I appreciated everything, your little cards, your notes. They meant a lot to me, and I want to tell you that I appreciated it. I cannot convey to you how much I loved your children. I love Tom, but Jane Gleason, I love you. I pray for you every day. If you ever need anything, please do not hesitate to call. Bye.
Dr. Delaney is in this classroom getting ready to teach learning in cultural contexts to the MAT students. Let's see if Dr. Delaney has a minute to speak with you.
Hi Jane, Mary Kay here. I'm so excited about being able to make this video for your retirement. So when I was thinking back, what I remembered a lot was laughing together. But funny thing about that, when I tried to think of specific things we were laughing about, I could only remember one specific story. And that is the story you told me about drinking wine with the nuns at lunch at the Catholic school. That's an image I'll have in my head forever. It's just funny. But I do remember too that we talked about in our informal time about everything: home repairs, dogs, family, and there's plenty of comic material and all of that. I made a list, which is why I'm looking. Also, we talked about Maryland and Eastern North Carolina, just so many things. I just always have loved talking to you, and I really missed that this year. On a more serious note, I want to talk about your impact, because I want you to know that I did some math and I figured out that you have made quantitatively and qualitatively a big difference in math ed and in elementary teaching in North Carolina. So first on math ed, you were a relentless advocate for making sure that our candidates were prepared to be elementary teachers who knew math, could teach math, who liked math, and could engage kids in math in ways that both promoted concept development, vocabulary development, all the mathematical skills, and engage kids in a way where they would like math. So that you brought to our department, and because of you, Meredith was leading the way on increased rigor. I really hate that word, but the way it's used now. But anyway, we'll use that. Increased rigor for mathematics for elementary teachers. So the other thing is that then just affects teacher ed in general and reminds us that this discipline-specific preparation is extremely important and something that we always need to attend to and tend. So I said quantitatively, and I don't have specific numbers, but I can give you a formula. So you taught X number of teachers over the years, a lot of students who became teachers. They each had 25 students or so X number of teachers times 25 students times the number of years they've all been teaching equals the huge difference you made in elementary education and mathematics teaching and learning. Because every day across the state there are people teaching who had you as a teacher, and I am really grateful for that. So I want to go back to our students, from the formula to the qualitative difference to our students and our colleagueship and working with students. A lot of the laughter I remember comes from our work with students, and not laughing at them at all, but laughing with them in things that they brought to us that were funny, but also in the ways that they approached things and how much they grew. Sometimes it was like laughter of joy, like, can you believe this? This is so awesome. We also got frustrated with our students because we wanted them to do more and try harder, and we also cried and shared sorrows with them. But always, I felt like you were always rooting for them. At the heart of all of those things we shared was you, and again, the word advocacy for the students. And that will live on forever in your work as your work moves to teachers' work and actually to my work too. So from this point, I wish you no home repairs, lots of cute dogs, wonderful time with family, and lots of laughter and conversation in your retirement. Love you, Jane.
It is such a beautiful day on the Meredith College campus. All the green is vibrant, the sun is shining, I hear the birds. But let's go back into Ledford Hall. Your present colleagues are here, and they all have well wishes for you. on your retirement. And let's go up to the second floor where the education office is.
Hi,
Mrs.
Jane.
Jones is here.
Just wanted to send my best wishes to you and let you know how much we're going to miss you around here. It's always been so much fun when you come down to the office and we just have our little conversations, mostly about animals, of course, our pet cats and dogs and whatever. And that's just been so enjoyable. And I've really enjoyed working with you through our meetings and with our students and everything like that. It's just been fun. And I just want to wish you the best and hope we can keep in touch. And you take care. Bye-bye.
Hi, Jane. You've always been my greatest supporter, starting when I was a beginning faculty member down in the basement of Ledford. Helped me learn the ropes, always supported me when I did, and you also supported me when I became the department head. I want you to know that your support and your belief in me as both a teacher educator and as a leader has meant so much. You were always kind and very generous. I'm going to miss having you in Ledford Hall. I'm going to miss working with you, but I wish you all the best in your retirement.
Hi, Jane. I already shared with you my mixed feelings about your retirement. I'm very excited for you, but also know that someone very important will be missing in Ledford. I will miss your generosity, your sense of humor, your calm demeanor, and your voice of reason. I will miss collaborating with you to make Meredith better for our students. I want to thank you for your generosity, your sense of humor, your willingness to collaborate, your calm demeanor, and your voice of reason. I want to thank you for your support, which started 9.5 years ago when I came to interview and visit the campus. I want to thank you for sharing your work with Teacher to Teacher Global with me. I want to thank you for inviting me to experience La Porta Abierta. I enjoyed so much working with the teachers and the students there and the time to explore all of the beautiful places around the lake. The time and energy that you have given to the teaching profession is very significant. You are leaving a legacy not only at Meredith, but with our graduates in the schools. You have equipped them with tools to help them positively contribute to future generations. Best wishes and congratulations on your retirement. You will be missed.
Hi, Jane. I just wanted to let you know I already miss seeing you around here. I'm happy for you with your retirement and your time off, and I'm hoping one of these days we will all get together and go to Best Friends. Such a crazy time around here. Everyone seems to be handling it well, but you are genuinely going to be missed. I will always remember you coming to the office and making a special point to talk to me, and I really appreciate that. I will miss that a lot. You stay safe, and we will be in touch soon, I hope.
Hi, Jane. Just a quick video to tell you how much I've enjoyed working with you for the past 20 years. It's hard to believe it's been that long. Not possible. I'm going to miss your attention to detail, your thoughtfulness, your calming presence in every room and situation, and also your care and concern for all of us, including our students. I wish you strength in the coming weeks and months, and lots of good times with friends and family. Keep in touch. Love, Monica.
Hi, Jane. Happy retirement. I am so sad that we don't get to celebrate in person right away, but believe me, we will celebrate in person at some point. I just want to thank you for the last 10 years of learning under your leadership and learning how to be a professor by watching you teach and watching you interact with students. I am so grateful that I got to work with you for these years, and I can't wait to see what the next chapter holds, and I hope you will keep coming to campus, although I promise I won't ask you to adjunct for a very long time. Thanks. It feels really weird to be doing this in a video. I just wish that we could be in Ledford or at Jennifer's house having a true education department celebration and appreciation of you and your work over the years. But in this video and in these times, this is what we have. And so I just want to make sure to express to you my gratitude coming in as a new faculty. It took me a while to see and understand the role that you played in our department because your leadership was often very quiet and behind the scenes. But if work needed to be done, we could count on you to get that work done and to steer our department in the direction that we needed to go. It wasn't until I had the chance to work with you and Merge on really looking at and evaluating and rethinking our MAT program that I really got to see and know and understand all of your contributions and the whole variety of ways that you helped us as a department and helped your colleagues. And so that was a really wonderful experience for me. I learned so much. And I'm so proud of what we accomplished, and it was a really, it was a great experience to have the chance to sit down and really engage with you as a colleague. So I wish you all the best, and I hope you know how much you are missed in our department. I hope you also know that we are all trying to make sure that we are stepping up our efforts to ensure that the department that you have left into retirement continues to reflect all of the hard work that you have done and all of your dedication to Ledford and our students in the school. So I miss you very, very much, and I just wish I could give you a huge hug, and I'm sending so much love to you and your family. So thank you.
Hey, Jane. Gosh, I don't even know where to begin, but here goes. I am so grateful that we had these years to work together at Meredith. I remember when I first saw you back in the day when our kids were at Heartwood Montessori. I thought, oh, what an awesome woman. I really want to get to know her. And yet we were so busy with our kids, for obvious reasons, being the kids that they are. We never managed to do that. But yet, we finally had the opportunity in Meredith, and I am just so happy that we've had those years to work together, talk together, laugh. tried to sneak in lunch every now and then when we could. And you gave so much to all of us at Meredith. Your students were blessed to have you. We, your colleagues, were just also equally blessed. And now that you've retired, I just wish you the very, very best, because you certainly deserve it. And we will miss you unbelievably. But thank you, dear friend, for the wonderful opportunity I had to work with you and come to love you very, very, very much. Thanks, Jane.
Let's go up to the 3rd floor. That's where all the cool people hang out.
Hi Jane, I just wanted to send a note of thanks and gratitude for your professional and personal guidance over the last 13 years. I thank you for loving my girl and always asking about her and encouraging her when you see her and caring about her theater and her arts and her performance. I am going to miss having you down the hall when I see your door open and knowing I can just lean in and check in and get a boost of encouragement and support. Know that you are loved and cherished and have fond memories of our work together.
Hi Jane. When Donna asked me to help make a video to celebrate your retirement, I sat down and I made a list of ways that you've impacted me across these 8 years of knowing you. And that became a top 10 list of top 10 ways you know you're meeting Jane Gleason's example. Number 10, we keep in mind what it means to be professional in the way we dress, in the way we talk to colleagues, in the way we interact with students, and in the ways that we observe our students and watch to make sure that they're being professional as well. And so this idea of professionalism is one that I will really carry with me throughout my career. Number 9, we're living up to Jane Gleason's example when we keep innovating across our career. Even when you knew you were within 3 years of your retirement, you kept innovating. You were setting up trips to Guatemala, reaching out and partnering with teacher to teacher. You were doing research with students and taking them with you on the trips to present at conferences in Guatemala. And that was an example to me of what it means to be dedicated across a career. Number 8, I know I'm living up to your example when I remember that we do more than just teach. And when you were considering when to retire, you were thinking about levels of engagement beyond just the classroom and teaching. And so knowing that what we do is more than just the classroom is something that I'll carry with me. And number 7, so I'll know I'm living up to your example when I am serving the wider community, the way you did with the North Carolina Women's Organization, and probably many other ways that I don't even know about. You know, you taught me that being a leader at Meredith means being a leader in our county and across the state and even internationally and nationally. Number 6, I know I'm living up to your example when I keep fighting for what I believe in. I've seen you keep advocating for students with our classes, with the time our classes are offered and the days they're offered. You might not have fought every battle, you picked your battles, but the ones that you did pick, you know, you kept working toward the things that were important, not just for you, but for our students. And I'm going to carry that with me as I continue to advocate for our students. Number 5, I know that I'm living up to your example when I'm being neighborly. You've always been my office neighbor at Meredith. You welcomed me, you were kind, you always were able to stop for a short conversation. And it was so comforting to hear that key in the door and hear your office door open and shut and to know that you were just on the other side of that wall. Number 4, I will know I'm living up to your example when I'm going to any length for a friend. I remember when your friend, the priest, came from Africa and you were working to help him and you brought him to our church, and it showed me how you would bend over backwards for anyone, and often did. And that was such a testament to your character and your heart and who you are as a person. And I hope to be that way, not only with my colleagues at Meredith, but other people in my life as well. The third way I know I'm living up to Jane Gleason's example is just to remember that I am more than my job. You love your family, your husband, your kids, and your fur babies. All the pets you take in and foster and care for, and the depth of your care is far-reaching, and who you are is more than just your job. And I'm going to remember that as I develop my outside interests. And number 2, I'll know I am living up to Jane Gleason's example when I keep in mind that our teaching and who we are is about more than just a lesson. It's about life and togetherness and sharing our joys and our pains and our sorrows and our celebrations. And it was so wonderful to have you with us for that last class for the author's celebration, when we were able to share all of that with our students together as a community. And that's what it means to teach. And finally, number 1, I will know I'm living up to Jane Gleason's example when I continue in humble, dedicated, professional, relational service in my community. Jane, it has been such a privilege and blessing to know you as a colleague over the past 8 years, and also as a friend. And I'm going to take all the lessons that you've taught me as a colleague and a friend forward in my work and in my service. And just remember that if you ever need anything, I'm just one text away. Much love to you, Jane.
I shouldn't have to knock. I know I'm not in there. Hi, Jane. It's Donna. Remember how I asked you to promise me that you would never retire? Because I cannot even imagine one day at Meredith College without you right there in Ledford Hall. I have grown to love you so much, Jane. Just having you up there on the 3rd floor with me. Sometimes I would be sitting in my office and I would hear your bag rolling down the hall, and I'd get so excited because we always had those great conversations at the start of the day, catching up on the student teachers and everything that was going on. Got to hear your words of wisdom. And then I would other days look down the hall, and if your little hedgehog door stop was there, I knew that I could walk in and ask you more questions or just catch up on everything that was going on. You are such an incredible person, Jane. You are so intelligent, so kind, so caring. You came to Gianna's dance recitals twice a year. How many times did you sit there with me and watch the Nutcracker? And of course, Anthony whining about why he has to see it again. But you always came and you were always there. I am still going to have to call you because I don't know how to work with these student teachers without your wisdom. And when it comes time for creating centerpieces and other documents, I just always count on your good eye to tell me, yes, that's going to work, or adjust this a little bit. I really feel like 50% of how I get things done at Meredith is talk to Jane Gleason about it. She'll help you out. Jane, I really have come to feel that you are such a close friend. I love when we've had our occasions to go out and eat lunch, celebrate our birthdays along with Larissa. And we just have to keep in touch as best we can, stay together while we can. Just know that you are always in my prayers. And I consider you such a gift and such a blessing in my life. I love you, Jane.